right. My next beauty, Tiffany Alysa. If you guys have never connected with her, woo-wee. Man, I'm just putting some gold in front of you guys. And if you don't pick this up, I'm going to not point fingers because pointing fingers is blame casting, and that's not what I'm here for. I got fingers pointing back. I have already consumed the goodness that they put out and am constantly in the forefront of what it is that they're learning, how God is teaching them and equipping them, and how it actually serves us. So today, Tiffany is going to serve you from the lens of community. How do you build a brand around developing cohorts of people around the world? Literally, her company with Gals That Brunch is not only with thousands of people inside of this community, it's also in a plethora, I mean, too many to count, over in the hundreds of countries and locations and cities. And so if you're trying to create a movement, Tiffany is your go-to. She has helped some of the top leading experts in the industry. She's going to come to Founder with this intention so that you guys can start expanding to the nations, as I believe we as messengers are called to do. And I do that through podcasting and we do that through publishing, but she's literally looking through the lens of community building. And there is a specific zone of genius that you guys are going to be able to tap into that I don't think anyone else in the market is really training on, which is one of the reasons that I am so excited for you guys to learn from her. She's also a dear friend. I love her energy. I love her vulnerability. I love the way she loves Jesus. And she's in for like the real deal, y'all, like that rich, wholesome, deep love of the Lord. And we don't get to talk about that very often, especially because she plays in the business world that doesn't necessarily speak to their faith. But here, she's going to let I'm going to say freak flag. She's going to let her Jesus flag fly. Let's go, Tiffany. I love you.
Which is so fun though, and that's what a lot of people don't understand even about entrepreneurship, and the fact that we might work, a lot more hours than that 50 or 60 hour work week that you did before. And yet there's so much component of excitement, of unknown, and people can look at that as a fear-based thing, but we're looking at it as a faith-based thing, to be able to say, God, I see the vision. I see what's coming to fruition. I see what the hard work and yet the joy aspects of what you provide in sustenance every single day by showing up in our calling, showing up on purpose, showing up with purpose and on mission. And I love that you've unlocked that. And then that's also what you do for other people. It's very synonymous to me. So talk through the evolution of working for entrepreneurs in conjunction with the churches.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like my God-given mission and vision is to partner with people to see the full manifestation of who they've been called to be here on earth. And I feel like in the church world, they struggle with that just as much, because there's either elements of false humility, or there's elements of working yourself to death and for the glory, for the church, or whatever the case may be. And so it's I have this bleeding heart and compassion to partner with church leaders so that they can operate in a healthy capacity of mind, body, soul, and spirit, because I'm so tired of seeing so many dead bodies of people that have been hurt by the church to the left and to the right, because at the end of the day, people are human. And it's man, it's in the one human moment, I always talk to people, it's what about if we were just trusted to be in that one human moment with someone? And that's okay, because then we get to accept that we're all human again, and that's the common ground, and that leaders aren't perfect, and pastors aren't perfect, and ministries aren't perfect. But what would it look like the more that we talk about this, and the more that we give grace and space to it? And then it's the same thing as I'm working with 7 to 8 figure entrepreneurs, in the amount of pressure that is, to get to the next level, and what that looks like, and to prove, that you can continue to do it in some way, shape, or form, and to never, and I know that you and I have probably experienced this at some point as leaders, and you're pioneering a trail and not totally feeling like someone truly understands the call that you have in your heart. And so there are times that you don't feel safe to actually be able to just let go and sit in that, because it's well, nobody else really understands what I'm pioneering. And so I just have to go at this alone. And it's what would it look like if we had all these people that would come alongside of us and support us, and knowing that you have that God mission and vision on your life. And so it's like, if I can provide spaces to do that, if I can be that person to do that, regardless of what it looks like, sometimes it looks very like untraditional in that like I'm coming in to help an entrepreneur grow and nurture their community. But at the end of the day, like I see myself as a God assignment to be able to be like, hey, you're safe and you can expand and you can grow into like all the capacity and the mission and vision that God's put on your heart. But I'm also here to like let you know, like it's okay to like sit out for a second and just
That
like
is real.
pray and worship
Yeah.
or whatever the
Yeah.
case is and get a download from God, and that the pressure's off. And if I can help shoulder some of that, you know, so that you can run at your full capacity, then I know you're going to do the same for me at some point, you know, as I'm doing the same, you know.
I feel peace even just hearing you say all of those things. One, to know that there is a heart set out there and a headset out there, that God has given you something so unique and divine, because I get the opportunity to kind of teeter between that pastoral realm and that business realm a lot. And I see full-fledgedly what you're saying about the pastors who are stuck in that identity. And then I see the entrepreneurs who are stuck in that identity. And it's like this bridging that God wants us to be able to do and bring to life, that you can live in purpose. You can live with this massive vision and call, and you can actually create prosperity and abundance through it. But in that pursuit, surely comes what feels like the mantle and the weight of the world and every community member associated to it. And you do feel like you're treading upstream and like carrying all these people behind you. And at some point you're like, when do I breathe? Like, when do I take a beat? When does this happen? And yet, because we feel like we're in the forefront of the vision, who's going to carry that mantle when we go take a nap? Who's going to carry that mantle when we decide, I'm going to take a little bit of a space on this concept for a little bit and see what happens?